Silent nights recalling you, a souvenir of what it could be. Pieces of my mind are yours.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and I hope you are okay on that side of the screen. And on the last video we saw the Shelly smart plug, which in my opinion it's one of the best, if not the best, in the market right now, at least that I'm aware of. And believe me, I've tested and used quite a few, and I'm really happy with this order that I did. Your fault, because you were the one that told me, hey Robert, there is a brand called Shelly and they've got some great devices. Now, we have seen the plug on the last one. If you haven't, just search the channel, or I will try to leave a link down below, and it's just an awesome, really smart device, or it will turn a devices smarter. And today we are going to take a quick look at the Shelly sensor, which is right over here on my hands. Now, where I live, I had a little bit of troubles buying this battery right over here, which is the CR123. But now I know a place where they sell it, and of course this will depend on the area that we live. And basically this is it in terms of powering it on. Just put the battery in. If I'm not mistaken, it will last for 6 months, 12 months, I'm not really sure. I can't remember what I read on the manual. But one thing that I would like to mention right over here is that this device, it's great to have sensor and humidity, but one of the questions that you might ask is, hey Robert, what good will it make me knowing the humidity and temperature of my site? Now, one of the things that we can do is turning on or turning off a air conditioner, for example, depending on the temperature that we have. And I was thinking about other scenario. If we use an outlet like this, like the Shelly plug, if I have a radiator turned on like right over here, I can just say with the help of Home Assistant, here we have to go outside the app, but with the help of Home Assistant, which, by the way, if you want to know more, follow the channel. I'm doing some videos regarding the home automation using Home Assistant. And what I can do is just say to the radiator, hey, turn on when the temperature reaches this level, or turn off when the temperature reaches this level. So is this kind of smartest that we can get. Besides the basic usage that we are talking about today, we can go a step further and automate things so that we don't really need to worry if the air conditioner is too low or too high. And that being said, let's just take a quick look here at the app itself. Now, I want to do something which is towards a few more days or weeks, show you the application more in detail with a few more devices connected. So we are just going to watch the sensor right now. But what we can see right over here is that I've got two areas, one of the office, and I used a real picture, so the app is really complete. Even these small details, we can use it. Now, in terms of connectivity, very easy, very similar to the plug that we have seen in the last video. So it's just a matter of searching with the app, and then it will find automatically, and bam, in a few, I don't know, probably 1 minute or two, we have everything working right over here. Now, once we open, we will see the devices that connected, and in this particular case on the office I only have one, because I've got the Shelly smart plug attributed to the kitchen, which is not true. It's right over here. As you can see, it's working right over here with this not smart lamp. But to talk about the sensor, which is the topic of today's video, as you can see, I've got the temperature right over here, and basically this curve right over here is when I turn on my AC, so that I can cool down, because it's getting really warm at this moment here where I live, which is Portugal, by the way. And I can select weekly, monthly and yearly. I'm not using it for, obviously, for a year, not even a month. I'm using for a few days, but I already have some few data right over here, very interesting. So as you can see, a very complete app, and will give me the historic data on the temperature, and of course we can know a lot more about our location, where with the temperature that we feel comfortable or not. So if at this moment I'm feeling comfortable, if I watch the app, okay, so it's 24 degrees, I would say this is a good temperature to have to turn on or turn off device to make it colder or to make it warmer. Now, taking a look at the app itself, because this is a simple device, basically it will allow us to read the temperature and humidity. And if I go to sensor settings right over here, as we can see, we have a lot of settings for a very simple device. So once again, thumbs up for Shelly brand, which has a great app right over here. In terms of temperature, we can select between Celsius and Fahrenheit. In terms of temperature threshold, we can wake up and report status. If temperature changes by 1 degree, for example, it will send me notifications if I want. If I select 1 here or 2 degrees or 3 degrees, doesn't matter, something like we said. And then we have the temperature offset as well. So the temperature offset, we can, if we find that the device is reading, for example, 24 degrees right over here, but I'm aware that the air conditioner is on that direction, and of course I know that right over there is a bit colder. I can change the value right over here and say, hey, in reality it's less 1 degree or less 2 degrees. And this is one of the options that we can use. Of course, if we don't want to use, we won't. Now for the humidity, we have the same thing, the offset in terms of the degrees, and of course here on the top the threshold as well, the same with the temperature that we have seen right over here. And then we also have an option for the external power supply, and I'm not really sure if I can connect this to an external power supply. Probably it has to do with these with this connection right over here, but I don't want to induce you in mistakes, so I'm going to not state anything else, but probably it has to do with this. But in my particular case, I prefer to have it in a battery, which will last for a few months, and that's about it. So, but basically that is it. Now, what more options we have here in terms of internet security? And once again, a lot of options that we have for such a small device. So as we can see, we can select a lot of things right over here, very similar to the smart plug. So I will not waste much more of your time. And then in terms of settings, I did find something interesting, which is not only useful for this device but for the plug as well, which is, besides all this, and firmware update was one of the things that I did forget to mention on the last video. I already updated the plug and also updated the Shelly sensor, so this is one of the things that it's great, regular updates. And besides the time zone and so on and so forth, there is the factory reset. You remember the last video I was using the button right over here in terms of the Shelly plug, but there is a button right over here which I can just press and factory reset this Shelly sensor right over here, or the Shelly plug, and I imagine that all the others I can do the same as well. And guys, basically this is it. This is what we can do with the Shelly sensor. First of all, it's a basic device that will tell us in terms of temperature and humidity, but if we want, and if we have the patience, and if we want to automate our home using Home Assistant, for example, we can use this device along with other devices like the Shelly plug, for example, to turn on and turn off devices when it reaches a certain temperature. And there's only one word for this, which is beautiful. Guys, hopefully this video was helpful in some way, and if it was, don't forget that usual thumbs up, which is really appreciated right over here. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.